is everybody today? It's a beautiful Friday. It's gonna be a little cloudy and rainy today, but it's still beautiful. Oh, I have so much going on today, and I still have to find rest because tomorrow I am at the Livingston Health Fair and I will be there with Body of 9. I should introduce myself. You are watching Daily Devotional. My name is Red Moon Eagle, and I post most Monday through Fridays. Lately I've been a little less consistent, but there are over 365 days worth of daily devotions on this channel, so you are more than welcome to go find one that suits you any day that you want to, something to give you inspiration, something to think about, something to be mindful of, whatever resonates with you. Every day is different. And we're all in this together, guys. Nobody's ahead of anybody else. Nobody's winning the race. We're all in this together. This morning, I did my gua sha and my face drainage, and I wanted to share that I have consistently always been blocked here in the mornings, and this morning it was completely not blocked for like the first time ever, but my eye ridge was tender on this right side. So it's interesting. Our bodies do interesting things. Okay, so let's dive in. We're going to start with the Egyptian God Oracle. And Khonsu, or Hermitage, is the card that came up. God of the moon, time, and knowledge, his name means traveler, the wanderer. Khonsu is the admiral of human destinies. He is depicted as a mummified young child. He represents the synthesis of the beauty of youth, the archetype of youthful amazement and spontaneity. Like other child deities, he symbolizes the potential that lies in all of us. Be open to new ideas and be brave and bold, facing up to the unknown that presents itself to you. Possibility of journeys that take you away from your comfort zone. In love, you may experience new, favorable beginnings. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. And we have our animal spirit guidebook. And this is the earthworm. Shy, hesitant, reluctant to share inner vision. We all have felt the woes of the earthworm at some point along the way. The earthworm indicates a newbie or novice working to establish confidence in a new field. Others around you may seem wise and experienced, but it's important to remember they once felt earthworm energy too. This card is a reminder not to be intimidated or lose hope. Mastery takes time, and you're on the right track. Besides, rumor has it, beginner's mind offers the most valuable insights. When in balance, earnest, intelligent, valuable. When out of balance, self-conscious, apprehensive. To bring into balance, speak up, and risk embarrassment. Okay, and then Shaman Oracle, Mystical Shaman Oracle. And this card is the Blade, number 6. Isn't that beautiful? The essence of the blade represents sharpness of the mind, body, spirit. Pointing upward, it summons the power of heaven. When aimed down to the ground, it anchors the power of heavens on earth. The blade can be a healing tool or a weapon. Wield wisely and it will transmit power, bestow initiations, cut energetic cords from the past, or sever toxic relationships. Use it with anger and it will slash, jab, and kill. The invitation is to you are invited to draw your blade and use it. It is not auspicious to hesitate, to waste time in idle talk, to hide from the inevitable. Heaven and earth are aligned to support you in claiming your power, so take decisive action. Overcome your fear of hurting others, unsheath the blade, and use it wisely. The medicine of this card is to put down the sword, place it back in the scabbard, and do not offer your blade in service to toxic emotions. You will be faced with an even more disagreeable future with the people or situations you're attempting to banish. Put the blade to rest until your inner fire has mellowed. Then use your blade with impeccable intention to cut the energetic cords that are tying you to the drama at hand. Set yourself free. Okay, so interestingly enough, when I pulled these, I was like, blade, wow, that's going to be rough. And then I realized, oh, okay. So let's go back to the Egyptian oracle. So here we're talking about the moon, time, knowledge, represents the synthesis of beauty of youth, the archetype of youthful amazement and spontaneity, symbolizes the potential that lies in all of us. In love, in possibilities of your journey, getting you away from your comfort zone. So Khonsu really is very much, it's time to get moving. There's curiosity, there's newness in the world. It's time to move and know that new things are coming and they're beautiful and they're amazing. And bring your youthful joy and spontaneity to that circumstance. And then Earthworm reinforces this. Beginner's mind offers the most valuable insights. Think of the newbie or the novice working to establish confidence in a new field. It's all about new things, right? So others around you may seem wise, but it's important to remember they felt the earthworm energy too. The woes of the earthworm, the newbie, the novice, earnest, intelligent, valuable. Speak up, risk embarrassment, because there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Everyone's began at the beginning. Everybody started as a child. Even those entities that are walk-ins still had to go through the beginning journey. And when out of balance, self-conscious, apprehensive, there's a anxiety of whether or not you should display your ignorance or have that new joy in a new thing. And then blade. And this is where I realized where we were going with these cards. The medicine is using your blade with impeccable intention. And the blade is to claim your power, to take decisive action, overcome your fear, and use it as something to transmit your power, bestow initiations, cut energy cords of the past, sever toxic relationships, representing and pointing upward, summoning the power of heaven, and down, summoning the power of heavens to earth. This is really the action blade, the action card. It's the action of moving forward and having the ability to lean into your power, lean into your curiosity, lean into your childhood innocence. In the sense of, I see it all the time when adults go into a new thing, because I've done it. You go into a new thing and you're like, oh, I have to behave like an adult. But really on the inside, you're just so excited. And a couple years ago, it struck me because a friend of mine said, Red, you're so authentic with your emotions. So just show them. And I thought, wow, that's a profound statement. I mean, there's a cup I own in my house that says, I can't be held responsible for what my face does when you talk. Because there is a sense, for me anyway, that because of how integrated energy is into everything that I do, my gifts and who I am as an entity is so integrated in my body, my mind, my spirit, how I live my life, that if I'm not happy about something, it shows. Or if I am happy about something, it shows. I lean in to the shadow. I lean into the light. I lean into the joy. And I definitely have had to mask in meetings and new things that I have to behave like an adult now, but on the inside I'm just so excited. And a couple years ago, after I had that conversation with that friend of mine, I have really embraced, most of the time, leaning into what the emotions are that I'm experiencing. And I think that that genuine expression, and when I'm neutral, I'm neutral. It's not sadness, it's a neutrality. And I have really intentionally worked at releasing the masks so that when I do experience something, I do have a lot of joy with it, and I do bring this enthusiasm for trying and experimenting and letting the new thing come to me and letting the new experience bring me joy, and helps me make sure that when I'm in an environment that I can tell that there's a lot of people that are nervous, I try really intentionally to bring that sense of joy, that place of peace, that resonance, that authentic power. I bring the power forward. And something that's been coming into my sphere a lot lately has been bringing more of my power forward. And it's a very interesting journey for me, as it is for most people who have spent a chunk of their time maybe not stifling their power, but also not bringing all of their power forward into a space. I've had some interesting conversations with natural number 6s lately, and many of them say, you know, I was told I was too big, it's too loud, I was too vibrant. I've been totally told those things in my life, like, calm down, Red, bring it down a notch. You know, like, I can really sympathize with my 6s that are in my life that are teaching me all about that 6 energy, because I have had those times where the squirrely brain thoughts would get what if, and the collapsing and trying to make myself smaller in a space because the people around me, it didn't feel safe, or it felt like every time I would bring my power into a space, I would be told to sit down and be quiet, or that my voice, my opinion, my insights didn't matter. And one of the most beautiful things that I have leaned into as I am really leaning into the layers of what I do, the things that I am learning, and wherever it's taking me, because I don't really for sure know like where all of it's going. It's very interesting being psychic. You can know so much about everybody else, and then your own life is a complete mystery. Which I can't say mine is a complete mystery, but I definitely, from my guides, get told that's not important, focus on this other thing. So then when something happens, I go, oh, I kind of knew this was happening, or wow, this is a complete new thing. This is a mystery. And leaning into my power means leaning into encouraging other people to harness their power, because it's not about me. And I had a discussion yesterday with somebody who, there was this interesting perception that as they were working on emotional stuff, they would go, yeah, but then I think about it. And I'm like, you got to get out of mind. And I'm really working hard, guys. I'm really working hard on the next course on my website, which is a basic wheel course. And I talk about body, mind, spirit, emotion. And that emotion piece is felt, that's in the body. And there is so much wonderful work in the world that is reinforcing the emotion body, not just mind body. People dump emotion into mind. And Blade says, no, emotion is also part of it. Because even in tarot, Blade is fire. And fire is emotion. Fire is all about emotion. And it's all about how emotion lives in the physical body. And it's where you're tucking it and hiding it and storing it for later. And how that comes out. And it's really important to understand that my own journey, your journey, everybody's journey, if it is devoid of the depth of emotion that you need to have access to in your life, it will always feel a little bit like you're missing the point, or that something is being stuffed inside and not actually worked on. There's so many layers to the healing process. And in my own life's journey, when I was told often, you're such a believing child, you're so creative, you're so emotional, you have such big emotions, you have such big feels, right? And I was told often, you have to control that, you have to stifle that, you have to be appropriate in these situations, you have to do all these things, which all of these things are valid experiences. I'm not negating them. I understand. If I'm angry, I can't just go yell at people. I get that. And there has been so much opportunity for me to learn how to navigate those emotions in groups of other people that I've become very good at it. The downside is that I have also picked up some really awful habits that I have had to work through in the last couple years to release all of that trauma that got stored in my body when I would try to stuff myself into the circumstance. I would try to stuff myself into the appropriateness to make other people comfortable, sacrificing my own emotional, spiritual, mind, body in that space. So today's cards is about child and wonder, really finding the wonder and the joy of learning new things about yourself and grabbing your power, going in with the blade, not to cut and slice and cut other people up with your emotions, not to use your emotion and your joy and your wonder about something to hurt someone else, but to pull that blade energy, heaven to earth, earth into heaven, into this space, and show your power. Show that your power doesn't have to be a blade, that your power can be soft and it can be comforting and it can be authentic and real without hurting someone else. And that is a real thing that you can do. We can all practice doing that. And depending on your natural number, it can be tricky as to figure out what that looks like too. And I'll go back to my friends' sixes. Like, they've been told so many times that their opinion doesn't matter, or their force, their energy in a space is too much. And I get that. I've experienced that. And there's a beautiful potential ability in moving forward that I think reminds me of the natural number 2 and the natural number 6 dynamic. And 2, in my wheel, natural number 2 is movement, earth, engagement, connection, harmony. And 6 is right next to it in the wheel. And it's breath, air, action, aliveness, significance. And when you breathe in, and there's harmony and there's movement in space, and if a 6 can breathe in and connect with people, really connect. Use your eyes. It's not a normal thing for a 6 to do, but you know, if you think of these cards and childlike wonder and excitement and all that wonderful stuff, there's joy in that. Bring that joy and breathe into it. And hold your power. Don't limit yourself. Don't make yourself smaller. Lean into the joy of childhood wonder, excitement of being new to something. Lean into the discomfort and find where your blade is. Find where your power is. I think there's some amazing, joyful opportunities that we have, that we collapse our chest, we make ourselves small, we lower our heads, and we make ourselves this tiny little, hopefully nobody will see me and target me, because that hurts. The interesting part of when you do that, you also get missed, and you're not heard, and you're missing the opportunities of rising your head up, looking out into the world, lifting your chest, engaging your two, connecting with the people around you. One of the things that you can also do to ease yourself when you're leaning into new experiences and finding that childlike wonder is right here on your ear. There's a point where if you massage that, you'll find yourself breathing, taking some deep breaths. And it's just gentle. I'm not pushing hard. It's just a really gentle massage. And I do it from 2 angles. I'll start up here, and then I'll come over here. It calms the heart nerve of your body, what they call the vagus nerve. It is the heart nerve of your body. And when you're really anxious and you're worried and you're not leaning into your childlike wonder and you're not able to grab your power, doing that gentle massage when you're in the bathroom, or I don't know, I'm completely unapologetic. I'll sit there at the table with a group of people and do that. Because it can calm the physical body if the physical body is picking up that something's not safe, or you're having a trauma response when you're trying to engage your childlike wonder and grab hold of your power. Because your body knows, your body's got traumas, and you can do all the talk therapy in the world you want. You can mind it. You've heard me say this before, where you mind the shit out of something. You can mind it all day long. But until you can assimilate that mindingness and that spiritualness, until you can bring that and let your body release all of that stuff, you're not getting very far. You have to let the emotions really flow. Minding, understanding intellectually is a wonderful thing. I mean, I went nearly 50 years of my life not knowing I had autism or ADHD. I got it diagnosed. My mind is so much clearer about it. I've been validated. Great. There's not much we can do about it. Now, instead of minding it, I have completely gone, okay, we have an answer. Now, I have to work on the emotional body component of that diagnosis. And it's not the diagnosis that makes me do that. I've been doing it, but now that I have a diagnosis, I can unwind this trauma and this experience and that experience, and I can take it apart, feel into it, and as all those emotions and as all those things bubble up, and I'm feeling them, I can let myself feel them, because I know in the background, my mind has been calmed with the understanding of what it is. Like, oh, that's what that was. Oh, this is that feeling again. Well, where did that come from? Oh, yeah, that's somebody not honoring my sensitivities. That's somebody shaming me, or trying to shame me, for my ADHD qualities, or somebody being disappointed because I have emotional dysregulation, or somebody is trying to make me afraid of myself. Oh my goodness, that happened quite a few times. So there's layers of, as I work through these emotionally stuck places in my body, that I'm releasing this stuff. And I have found so much less pain, so much less inflammation, and using heart nerve massage, tapping, they call it vagal nerve therapy. You can do, there's a lot of stuff you can do at home. It's amazing. I use my tuning forks. I do my gua sha. I do my lymph drainage. I have a whole thing of options that I do to get my body ready to move forward. And in being ready to move forward, I find a lot of joy. Even in the task that I'm not really keen on doing, I have something this morning I don't really want to do, I'm actually excited because I know that there's always an opportunity to learn something new from somebody else's perspective, somebody else's insights. And that gives me the ability to embrace my power, embrace my joy, and find a way to share that. And to share that with others, to share that with friends, to share it with my partner, to write about it. I'm a prolific writer. Eventually, I will have a book that comes out, maybe. And in theory, today we will be doing, Safriana and I will be doing the Inner, I can never remember the name of it, Inner Something podcast. And she and I have 4 or 5 actually out already. And I know I've told a couple people, but I do encourage you to go over to Living Luna. I don't always get them posted on my YouTube channel. We're still working out the glitches. It's a glitch. And I also encourage you to go over to Amazon and look up Shadow Alchemy, and it's a group book. And if you're ready to work on shadow stuff, there are 22 authors in the book. There's lots of insight and wonderful things in that book. And I'm on chapter 9. I encourage you for sure to read the introduction by Susan Fisher. She is the co-founder of Body of 9. Safriana Luna, she is chapter 1. She is also the editor and the organizer and the amazing person that I do my podcast, or that I do a podcast with her. And then Susan Fisher also wrote a chapter, and then there's an appendix, and it is the first ever printing succinctly of the shadow aspects of each natural number. So there's a lot of good work going on in the world, and shadow sounds all kinds of scary, but it's not. It's actually the real work that has, so that we can all be in the place where we can change the world together for better. The world is going in a scary place in a lot of ways, and there's a lot of ways to be involved. You work on you, and then you slowly go out into the world and you work with others, and you find what piece in the community you fit as you move around the wheel. We cannot move forward as individual people in our growth without community. And I can't stress that enough. Our indigenous ancestors around the world, pick a culture, they were all indigenous at some point, had and knew that community is key to individual growth, and individual growth is key to community. One does not live without the other. Have a beautiful day, my friends. Have a beautiful weekend. Enjoy yourself. There's been so much sunshine lately. It's beautiful. I encourage you to get outside, get your hands in the dirt, go for a hike. I'm about to actually put my shoes on and go wander around the neighborhood. Yes, I sometimes wander around the neighborhood in my robe because it's early and it's fun. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you in prayer again another day. Blessed be.